Good evening. Welcome everyone to Nikkei Credit Union's 69th annual meeting. Thank you for joining us to our second virtual annual meeting. My name is John Hernandez. I'm the President and CEO of Nikkei Credit Union. Just a little housekeeping before we get started. Please note that this meeting is being recorded. The recording will be made available on the credit union's website at the end of this month. If you have any questions during our annual meeting, please select the Q&A icon and type in your questions in the box. We will try to do our best to answer your question. During the voting, you may also raise your hand button to indicate that you would like to speak, and you can unmute your line to allow to speak. Sorry. In order to respect everyone's time attending tonight, we may not be able to address everyone's question, but we will reach out to you offline if we cannot address your question tonight. Jay, do we have a quorum?
Yes, we do have a quorum.
Thank you. We have confirmed that the required quorum is present for the annual meeting. I would like to introduce the board of directors and committee members and volunteers, as well as the employees. First, our board of directors led by our chairman, Gary Nakata, our vice chair, Ryan Iwamoto, our treasurer, Glenn Matsushima, secretary, Ryan Suzuki, and director, Alyssa Tanaka. Next, our supervisor committee members led by Karen Yoshimura Oto, and our committee members, James Kawashima, Ken Matsuno, and Masahide Nakagawa. We also have our Mabuhay Advisory Council members, Cynthia Tan, Elito Santorina, Erica Guico, Evelyn Andamo, Francis Suavio, Dr. Henrik Makalintal, Alex Kainglet, Kathy Chicas, Lemuel Guyeb, finally Monica Montserrat. We thank you for your leadership and volunteering your time to help us deliver our mission to advance the prosperity of the Nikkei and Mabuhay communities. As far as the management and staff, starting with our administration staff, led by Jay Lee, Vice President, our HR Manager, Michio Tatale, our Marketing Coordinator, Debbie Chang, Monica Seng, our EFT and Accounting Coordinator, and Christina Kuba, our EFT and cards processor. As far as our Gardena Nikkei branch team, led by Tess Nambu, and Kaori Suzuki, our mortgage specialists, and our financial service representatives, Kwalani Peters, Tiffany Manalang, and Song Kadoy. And as far as our Carson Mabuhay branch team, led by Fred Doctosil, and joined by Jamie Valenzuela, our mortgage specialist, as well as our financial service representatives, Phoebe Tan, Jennifer Andal, and Justine Alcantara. Now we have a quick message from a fellow member of the Nikkei and Mabuhay community.
Aloha, konnichiwa, and mabuhay. I'm Mark Dacascos. The management and staff of the Nikkei Credit Union and Mabuhay Credit Union thanks our valued credit union members for enabling us to help advance prosperity in our Nikkei and Mabuhay communities. Mahalo and much aloha!
Mahalo, Mark Dacascos of Iron Chef America. Next is the 2020 approval of the minutes. The 2020 annual meeting minutes were sent in advance by email and is also available on our website at www.nikkeicu.org/am-2021. Again, this was sent to you in advance. I hope you had a chance to review it. Therefore, at this time, I'd like to request for a motion to approve the 2020 annual meeting minutes. Please make sure to click on the raise your hand icon to make a motion. I'll give you a couple seconds to do that. Again, click on the raise your hand icon to make a motion. Okay, I hope you've had a chance to vote or make a motion. Now we will lower everyone's hand. Jay, have you had a chance to lower everyone's hand?
Yes, everyone's hands lowered.
Thank you. Now I'd like to ask if anyone opposes to approve the 2020 annual meeting minutes, please raise your hand. All right. I hope no one opposes, but if there are, please make sure you raise your hand. And Jay, do we have a majority yes vote to approve the 2020 annual meeting minutes?
Yes, we have a majority yes vote.
Thank you. Now to hear the report from the board chair, please help me welcome Mr. Gary Nakata.
Go ahead, Gary.
Thank you, Jay, and thank you, John. Good evening, and welcome to our credit union's annual meeting. It's a pleasure talking with you again, and hopefully we'll be able to gather together next year. It's been a challenging year, but our community has responded as we always done when facing adversity. By pulling together and doing the things that was needed, whether it was wearing masks, staying safe, and helping others. Your credit union continues to do its part by assisting members hurt by this pandemic with loan payment extensions and lower interest loans. We expanded our outreach programs to increase donations and service projects to our community and frontline workers. We also recognize the added difficulties you've had to bank, so we've expanded and improved on our online and mobile banking services. I wish to thank you for your understanding and cooperation for this past year. We believe our future looks bright as we add new innovative products that you need and value. One of these new programs is directed towards our senior homeowners with fixed incomes. For many, it's difficult to qualify for mortgages, to fix up their homes or supplement their monthly income. So please call us and we can work out a loan program that's tailored to suit your specific needs. I think you'll be surprised at the ease and personal attention in obtaining a loan. Another program is for owners of multifamily properties. We're providing loans on 1 to 4 unit non-owner occupied rental properties at highly competitive rates for our members. Act quickly because there's an overall limit on how much your credit union can lend under this program. John will be providing additional information later during this presentation. I would like to add a personal note. We as a nation are slowly overcoming the hardships caused by the pandemic. However, another menace has reared its ugly face, one that our earlier generations had to confront. It is the racial bigotry against Asians. Once again, we must band together to speak out and act. Our credit union was founded in response to discrimination against Japanese Americans. It is our heritage and our DNA as an organization and a community to respond with positive action against hatred and bigotry. I hope you agree with me. In closing, I would like to thank management, staff, and volunteers for their dedication during these trying times. And I think all of us, knowing that of the struggles ahead, still agree that we can see the light and the renewed hope of better times ahead. Thank you, and back to you, John.
Thank you, Gary. At this time, I would like to provide you the following reports. First, on behalf of Glenn Matsushima, the Treasurer's Report. And by the way, the annual report is also available online if you wish to see the entire report. Just to give you a quick recap, 2020 was a year of growth for Nikkei, both on shares and loans. I can say the same for most financial institutions on the share side, but I'm not sure if it was the same for them on the loan side, but we were lucky in that respect. But to start, you can see that the increase in our assets from December 2019 to December 2020 was roughly 7.2 million, which is 10.21% increase in 2020. As far as our loans, we increased the loans by 7 million, which is about 21%, but it actually took over 18 million in loans funding, which happens to be the record high for Nikkei Credit Union since the inception of the credit union, just in order for us to be able to achieve that 7 million net growth in loans, which is again, all lent out to our members. As Gary indicated, there were some enhancements on our loans, and I'll mention that a little bit more in my president's report. Investments have declined from 33 million to 29 million. And that's because, again, we turned around and used some of those funds and lent out the money because of the fact that some of those deposits are actually maturing into a lower rate. And that's a decrease of about 3.4 million, approximately 10.32%. As far as our member shares, it also increased by 7.2 million, and that is 11.59%. You can also see in this slide that our operating expense ratio has decreased and increasing our return on assets from 0.21 to 0.26. The credit union's capital ratio remains strong with over 10% at 11.93. And that is the summary of the treasurer's report. Again, if anyone has any questions, please use the question icon and write your questions in the box. And then Jay will read off the questions and see if I can answer them. If not, we will respond to you at a later date. Next is the supervisory committee report. And on behalf of the supervisory committee chair and its committee members, on behalf of Karen Yoshimura Oto, the supervisory committee report, first of all, as far as our regulatory exam, the California Department of Financial Protection and Innovation did not conduct an exam in 2020, and that's because Nikkei and Mabuhay Credit Union is in an 18-month exam cycle. As far as an opinion audit, Richards and Associates, it's a CPA firm specializing in credit unions. Their audit also indicated that Nikkei and Mabuhay's financial statements were fairly stated in all material aspects. Finally, Collaborative Learning and Assurance Service Solutions, Inc. Also indicated that there were no material findings to be reported in their internal audits. And again, this is the summarized version of the supervisory committee report. And if there are any questions, please make sure to put your questions on the question box. Next, I'd like to give my president's report. With the obvious thing that happened in 2020, it was important that management quickly executed our disaster and pandemic preparedness plan. We immediately executed this plan and implemented our COVID-19 protocols for the safety and security of our members. We also deployed our disaster and pandemic assistance, aiding members with over 4 million in loan payment extensions and emergency loans. Finally, with our remote services, we were able to stay connected with our members through shared branches, ATMs, mobile banking, mobile check deposit, and text communication. As far as pandemic update, we reduced our hours to Tuesday to Friday from 9:30 a.m. to 4:30 p.m. and Saturdays from 9:30 a.m. to 1:30 p.m., which we plan to continue as our regular business hours. And we shall continue our safety measures as needed at the credit union. Also, loan payment extensions and emergency loans will be extended until June 2021 for those that have submitted an application. As well as deferred payments for new loans, you will have a choice for no payment for up to 90 days if that's what you choose to do, especially if you were affected by the pandemic as far as your employment is concerned. Lastly, the credit union is committed to continuing to make donations to the healthcare and frontline workers. As far as enhanced services, as Gary mentioned earlier, Nikkei and Mabuhay expanded its real estate and HELOC loan types to finance second homes and investment non-owner occupied properties of 1 to 4 units. So in case you're not aware of that, again, we are financing second homes and investment non-owner occupied properties of 1 to 4 units. Of course, we are doing your primary residence, and again, as I mentioned earlier, we experienced the highest loan funding since the inception of the credit union, with over 18 million funded last year. We want to be able to continue to do that and serve our members. Last year, we also realized the challenge of buying a car without having to go to the dealership. Therefore, we partner with Car Scouts, which allowed our members to make safe and convenient vehicle purchases without setting foot at the dealership. Our Car Scout representative will actually bring the vehicle to our members' place of work or house or at the credit union. And if there's anything wrong with the vehicle, it could be exchanged. So it's almost having the opportunity to actually drive the car without being at the dealership. We ended up funding over $450,000 in car loans last year through Car Scouts. And I think that was a great partnership and a great membership that was enjoyed a lot by our members, just like that gentleman on the photo on the slide. As far as our commitment to the community, as mentioned earlier, we are planning to continue to do that and to continue to collaborate with you, our members, and collecting and donating food, clothing, blankets, and toiletries to homeless students at our local colleges. We also, several times last year, including earlier this year, showed our appreciation to all the healthcare and frontline workers and provided them boxed lunches in cooperation with local restaurants in our community. So we're very proud to be able to continue to do that despite all the challenges that the pandemic has brought forth to us and to our credit union. Lastly, our future plans. We are looking into creating a nonprofit organization, commercial loans. We're currently working with a Nikkei community nonprofit organization to design a product that will help them continue their endeavors and their business endeavors. So we learned that there are several Nikkei Mabuhay community nonprofit organizations that may be needing these commercial loans. So we partner with a company that will help us execute that. And that's something that we'll be able to provide you more information once it gets implemented. Secondly, we realize again that the remote services is critical, especially with what happened in the pandemic. Therefore, we are expanding our service channel with a face-to-face remote service through video banking. And again, we'll make the announcement once this becomes available in 2021. Last but not the least, we realize that our members want to continue helping their fellow Nikkei and Mabuhay community members. Therefore, it is our new initiative to form the Nikkei and Mabuhay Foundation, which will elevate our outreach efforts to the community, giving our members an option for tax-deductible donations. So again, I'm very proud to be able to give all this report to you. And at this time, I'd like to request for a motion to approve the reports, the treasurer's report, the supervisor committee report, and the president's report. And let me remind you to make sure to click on the raise your hand icon to make a motion. And I'll give you a few seconds to do that. Again, please make sure to click on the raise your hand icon to make a motion. Okay. We will consider all the motions and all the raise your hand as in favor of the vote or in favor of the reports. Now, at this time, we will lower everyone's hands. Again, now at this time, we will lower everyone's hands. Jay, have you lowered everyone's hands?
Yes, all hands are lowered.
Thank you. Okay, and if anyone opposes to approve the reports, please raise your hand. Again, by clicking on the raise your hand icon if you oppose to approve the report. Okay. Hope that's enough time. Jay, do we have a majority vote to approve the reports?
Yes, we do have a majority vote to approve the reports.
Thank you. All right, well, great. Thank you, everyone. On the next thing, for new business, there are no new business, which leads us to the election of the directors and supervisor committee. And since there were no nominations received, therefore, the incumbents for the board of directors who will be serving another 3-year term from 2021 to 2023. Let's congratulate Gary Nakata, who will continue to serve as the board of director, as well as our supervisor committee incumbents, Ken Matsuno and Masa Nakagawa, who will continue serving in the supervisor committee from 2021 to 2023. They are elected by acclamation. Thank you. Last but not the least, thank you again, Gary, Ken, and Masa for accepting to continue to serve on the board and the supervisor committee. Jay, do we have any questions that were raised that I can answer at this time?
None that is unanswered. So there's no more questions at this point.
Thank you. Just for your information, I know that, by the way, we did receive over 100 registrations to this meeting, and I hope most, if not all of you have made it. And for those that actually have made the meeting and registered for the meeting, we will be mailing out your rice coupons. So please look for that in the mail. Is it being mailed, Jay, or is it being emailed to the members? I just want to confirm that. I think it's being mailed to the members.
It is being mailed.
Great. So again, thank you all for attending our 69th annual meeting, which is our second virtual annual meeting. And as a reminder, the annual report is online, and that the recording for this annual meeting will be available at the end of this month. Again, I want to thank you all, our members, for your support, your understanding of the changes that we had to do in 2020 and 21. We hope that everyone stays safe. And again, we want to thank you all for participating and attending tonight. We want to thank our board of directors, supervisor committee members, our Mabuhay Advisory Council members, our management and staff. And with that, please be safe and have a good evening. Meeting is adjourned. It is 6:26. Thank you. Have a good night.